All right, so we're doing a headliner today. We're doing the back window section. We did the front post earlier, and now we're doing this back section here. So I'm going to go ahead and start on it. It looks like there's a groove up here. You tuck it into, roll it under, glue it. And this kit is actually a two-piece for back here. So one piece goes here, and the other piece goes back here, which makes it, I think, from the look of it, a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue up here just to kind of help hold it. And I'll put a little bit of glue around this window area. And it tucks into these grippers here, so we don't need any glue around that. All right, so first off, we find center. All right, so that's center. I'm going to go up pretty far to allow some tucking. Well, looks like we're going to have to tuck it as we go. I'm only putting glue on one side of the surface, so. Do a little bit of tuck in here. They give you enough to where you almost could do it in one piece. So I'm going to call that a start. I want to make sure we're not sticking anywhere. Okay. And now we just glue it around the window. So I'm going to go outside and work on it out there. I'm going to go just a little bit down the window a little bit for now, just so I have an area to pinch too. So what I'm going to do is put those clips on that we got. Before I glue the headliner in, I know I put glue up already, but I didn't put glue on the headliner itself, so I'll be able to change that. Because now what I could do is on the inside, tuck it in and get the stretch that we need. Kind of like a trial fit, I guess you could say. we're working on this piece today. This is a piece of vinyl that starts from the back and goes all the way up and over to the front. And I did the other side yesterday and fought it, but we finally got it. Not easy. We're using the TMI headliner. I think it's called TMI. Very thin vinyl, wants to wrinkle. You fight it. It's just a constant fight. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And what we do is first we put the plastic in the grippers here in the back. And then we take it and run it all along here. Shove it into this groove. And then we start gluing it around the outside edges. One of the first parts to get glued is down on the fender here. And I'm just using the 3Men glue. And hopefully it sticks. I've been told mixed reviews, so I don't know. We'll find out. Let's get started. Okay, so this goes into our grippers. And this gets tucked up here. I'm just going to do a initial tucking. So these are the clips that I'm using. Or clips. These are the pushing devices I'm using to push the vinyl in. Okay. So this kind of sets the length of it back here. Because this clipper here, this plastic thing has to slide right into flush with the window for the headliner to fit upright. The gripper folds under and goes in. So we line that up, and on this TMI, the clip back here, the plastic clip, let me move you guys in, take a look at that. See how long the plastic goes past this area? Now you don't need to cut the plastic will shove in there, but the vinyl has to be cut up to that point in order for it to flow around this edge. So nobody talked about that yesterday, and I fought it for a while. So I'm going to get this lined up. Make sure the grippers are open enough. Then I'll go ahead and cut this. Don't want to cut it too high. So I just want to see where I'm at. Okay, that should be good. We'll be able to work with that. Okay, let's flip this over. Make sure the grippers are open enough. One little area lined up. I'm going to pull this around and see what it looks like down here. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Now my grippers, they seem to be right at where the thread is sewn on. And you just hammer them all tight. All right. I don't know what's going on down here. Right where the grippers end. So it could be a weld ball or something. But it turns out looking okay. All right, now I can shove this back in. I could definitely tell you I was on the struggle bus yesterday. Yesterday, I was fighting it. It's 100 degrees in the shop. Just everything was not going. So I'm going to glue this back here first, and then we'll start working the front edge. Now what you don't want to do is glue anything in this void here. Where we put that padding on, you don't want any glue there. You want it to float. The glue is basically on this back edge here, and then it goes around the transmission hump. Transmission. See how good I'm sitting on the transmission hump? Goes around the wheel well. Put a little bit of glue here. And now we have to work this in. This is what I mean by struggle. That plastic clip being out that far is going to mess with us. Whatever's pushing that clip out is causing issues. All right, cut. I'm going to get this figured out. All right, with a lot of struggling, found out there was a gripper that was completely bent up in there, so I got that cleaned up, and I was able to move it down a little bit so it didn't have this weird wrinkle up in this area here. So now I'm just gonna try to glue it down with no wrinkles. I need to do some relief cuts, but I don't cut too close to where I'm working, because just in case I need to move it, I don't want to take a chance of that becoming in the headliner. So that's our point there. Okay, this back corner is looking pretty good. Now we just got to keep on working our way up. And in, we got to make sure that we're tight up against that fender. So you can see the wrinkles it's trying to put in here. That's because I got too much material down here. So now I can start getting rid of some of that and allow it to stretch a little easier. Once again, leaving room if we need to move it up or shift it. We shouldn't have to at this point, but just in case. Okay, so now we have to trim for this right here. The seat thing that's on here, we have to trim for that. The way I like to trim is with a brand new sharp razor, because if you use a dull razor, then you end up pushing too hard and it could mess it up. Okay, I'll make sure that this is pulled. There's no chance of wrinkles. I'll just cut an X and kind of force it over it. Okay, now this goes down into that area there and gets pulled tight. Okay, so let's get some spray adhesive in there. There's some light on the subject. Okay, and then the next we're going to do is this window area here. Start working those fingers in. It's just a matter of constantly going in and repositioning as you go. We're looking pretty good down there. I think this back corner's done as best as we can. Okay. So now we're going to start doing the window area. I think I'll put a little glue up here first and get this kind of set. So let's go ahead and pull that down. And when I say a little glue, I mean just a little bit of glue. Let it set up a little bit. Now when we put this up, we have to make sure that we're good on the window and good on the grippers. And what I found out is once you put it on this padding, if you try to peel it off, it pulls some of the padding off with it. So it starts to become a nightmare to work with. The material's so thin that shows through. Okay, I want to make sure. Looking good up here. What did I do before? I think I just put a tool in there. Ugh. This area is we got a dent area up here, so we're gonna have to fix that. We got this to this point. I'm going to go ahead and push this in there and let that hold that. All right, so next up is to cut this headliner and cut this so we can roll this up on itself and get a nice finished edge. All right, we got to make sure that this is where it's going to be. That's in there. Does that cover the gripper? All right. So what I'm going to do is cut a diagonal line up to the post here. And then got to make sure we don't have any wrinkles. And then we cut a line straight up following the white rubber piece. Okay. Now we can figure out where we want the fold. The fold should go from the curve in the window up to your cut line. That's going to tuck right up into that corner. Okay, so that feels pretty good. Can you take off 2 clips? There's one clip there. And one clip there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is put a piece of tape up, I guess 2-inch. Kind of give me a line that I'm going to glue to. So that way when I put the glue on, I don't get glue past where the fold is. Put that down there. That's a mark. Okay, I got to cut 2 little. We got the grab handle here, so I got to do 2 little relief cuts with my disappearing knife. Oh, I found it. Oh. Once again, just cut an X, and then they'll slide over it. Okay, I got my mark. So now I'm going to pull this down and trim off some of that bulk. We don't need that much bulk. I like about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8. Okay, now we'll take glue. We'll glue it inside the fold. That's it for that. And then I'm going to put this tape up and go up. That's the mark where we're at, so I'm going to go up about 1/16 of an inch. I want to make sure I'm going up high enough. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this up. Go there. Not getting a straight. Not getting a straight fold. It's trying to do a curve on the fold. I'm fighting the bolts that hold on the handle, the grab handle. I'm trying to cut through the 2 layers of vinyl. There we go. Okay, tape's set up. Now I can glue it. Now this, because I need it to hold so well, I'm using contact cement. I don't want to take a chance later and have it come apart. That's got to go right up in that corner. This comes down into that window area. Now this glue cleans up with mineral spirits, so if we have an issue, mineral spirits will take care of it. All right, so now we have to finish up gluing up this area. We can take this tape off. All right. Now I can go to the outside and glue that up. Go ahead and put the lid on. All right, so the important part about this is the window rubber is going to go over this edge and hold this all in. But you do have to run a rope around it, decent size string, in order to get that rubber to go on. So you want to make sure it's glued pretty well. That's why I like using the contact cement over the spray adhesive. Okay, now I can put the clip there, put this clip here, and I can come to the outside and make sure we're looking good out here. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we're going to do the fold in the front here, because the headliner goes to a certain point and folds over. Make sure we're not getting any weird looking wrinkles or anything. That looks good. All right, pull this back. Now I got to do the spray adhesive on that. Do a cardboard up here just so I don't hit the padding up there and suck that padding. Stick it down with it. Let it set up for a little bit. And then when we put it on, we got to watch for wrinkles, and then we got to do a fold down here. Put some tape up here when we were doing the padding. We got to put on new tape when we do the headliner. All right. Now remember, we have to make sure we have room for the grippers up in this front corner. Okay, so that top edge looks good. Grab a little pushy bar. Push that all in. Okay. So that's done. Now we got to do the fold, which I use the brush for. Just like the other side. This folds underneath. Goes around that front gripper. Okay, so I need the contact cement. Okay, that gets that fold done. Now what we're going to do is glue the front fold edge down to the metal. And I got to mark that. Put a piece of tape there so we don't glue too far. Like I said earlier, we could always clean it off, but it's easier to mask it. then have to worry about it later. Right. Let that set up a little bit. And once that's done, then it's basically let's push it underneath the grippers and we're good to go. We do put a little bit of glue inside the gripper. And with this damage that's done to the roof up here, this big gap that's up here, I think I'm going to have to do another layer of padding that starts about here. So the headliner, when we tuck it in and let it roll in there to hold, it stays put. So the rest of the headliner I put padding, 1/2 inch padding on, so that's going to hold it tight to it. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that down. All right, so now we're going to do some spray adhesive inside this channel and start tucking that in and try to make sure we don't get any wrinkles as we do it. I put the cardboard up here, just stop overspray. So I'm going to start back here because this is where we're having issues with wanting to wrinkle. Lays pretty flat that way. I'm wondering if it needs a little bit of a trim. Let me go in here and see what we got. No, that looks pretty good. All right, so we tuck this in. Where that fold is, I just kind of fold it real tight around the corner. Make sure it's all tucked in tight. And we grab the rubber mallet. We close it up. little bit of wrinkles in there, but the handle, I think, will take care of that. That's it for that section. All right, on to these panels here. So they give you a piece of vinyl that's too long. You cut it down, you fold the ends over, glue them, get a nice clean edge on the sides, and then you glue this panel in. You start with gluing it low first with spray adhesive, and then you work your way up to the top, kind of stretching it out. It doesn't need much stretching, but just a little bit right in this area. So let's get to it. All right, so this is the vinyl they give you. You can see how long it is. So what I'm going to do is fold over one edge and glue it. And then on this side, I'll come back over, mark it on this side, and fold it over on this side and cut off the extra. So I'm going to get one side glued, and then we'll come back. So I glued the edges, folded them over, measured off the other side, got it all kind of figured out. Let's just grab that and put that right there. So now what I'm going to do is put some spray adhesive on, but I'd like to line it up first. I'll borrow you too. Okay. So now the way I measured the other side was I put a finger here and a finger here. So this has to come over. Let go of my ego. Over there. That's a little off. Go back that way a little bit. Let's go right about there, right about there. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, so the door panel, or side panel, what do you call that? Some people even call it a door card. Comes in here and goes around this whole entire lip here and covers all that edge, covers all this. So the only thing we have to worry about is this little area right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it up, and we're going to put some glue right in here. And I didn't glue the other side to the metal, so it just pulls tight. Oh, I gotta glue this, don't I? You gotta put glue on both sides. And you could glue the whole entire panel, but only where there's glue on the other side once it's dry, once it's, tacky. If it's not on the other side, it won't stick to that surface. So that's why sometimes you'll see them spray a whole entire panel, but if they just put glue in certain areas, that's the only place where it's going to stick. So, and one thing to think about is, like, if you're doing a headliner with foam behind it, if you spray the foam with contact cement and then you push down hard, you can leave fingerprints on it. So you want to make sure you don't do that. We're just waiting. What'd you hear? What'd you hear? Why are you staring at me? Okay. Time's up. Okay, so we're just gonna I lightly push down at first to make sure we don't get any wrinkles. Push that down. So once you push good, then that's where it's gonna live. You can still get it off, especially this glue, but okay. So now we can pull these off. Thank you for holding that. And then we'll go on the outside and we'll glue this on you. Not you. I don't know how many times I've been in and out of this car. Okay. See right here. That wasn't stuck down good. All right. Now I should be using the contact cement, but I think we'll be okay with the window rubber. Do yourself a favor. Make sure you keep your fingertips clean, especially white or any type of material. Vinyl, at least you could go in and clean it up pretty easily. But material, you know, you gotta be careful of it. And mineral spirits does really good on this stuff. It's still too wet. We want it tacky. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a brush on the edges here. And get that to stick good. We need tape. Back out. I was sitting right here. I got out for tape. There was tape right there. We use thicker stuff just in case. Just in case I get crazy with the glue. Now, the reason why I want to do this is because any kids get back here, you don't want them picking and pulling. Okay, that side's done. Now we're going to come over to this side, peel this back, and glue right to the tape line. Let that set up for a little bit, because if you go on it too soon, I notice it pushes through the holes on the vinyl. And then you got to clean that all up because it smears. Now, gluing wise, this doesn't really have a time, but maybe a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and brush this edge. This has to be held down pretty good because, like I said, the rubber, when you put the rubber on, you use a rope to pull the rubber up over this channel. So being in the shop, I know that that's kind of an important deal. It's the hurry up and wait game. We can pull these off now. Like I said, the vinyl is really thin, so where you fold it over, you actually see that fold over. It's terrible. So when you cut your vinyl on that fold over, make sure you cut it nice and clean. All right, now we just glue this. Make good contact. And that inside panel is done. So we can cut off the excess. And just like that, we are done with this panel. So next up is to go over to the other panel. All right, time to get into the back panel. So follow me over there. You too. Oh. Fancy meeting you here. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see this, but if you can, there's wrinkles here, and it's in the padding. The vinyl is not wrinkled there. The padding is. And it showed real bad. So what I have is a piece of headliner material from a different job. And I think what I'll do is glue this in right here. Now it won't get rid of it all, but it'll lessen what you see. I can't go too far into this corner. I can only go probably about right to that corner. Tuck in there. Maybe we could go past. There's enough material. If I cut diagonally, that would look nice. So let me look to see what we got going. See how big our material is and see what we can hide. It would look nice coming from this corner and coming up. Okay, now we let that set up a little bit. Okay, I want to give room. This is where I want the scissors. So I have my tape line. I can figure out where I want the padding to go to. That's good. Okay, let's do the other side. Now remember, this padding has to be cut pretty clean too, because everything shows with this stuff. Okay, now we're not going to put glue here. We're just going to glue up here and glue down here if we can. As long as we don't have to stretch it, we should be all right. Okay, this can come off. Actually, that's our mark. Let's leave that there. Grab our vinyl panel. Let's find center. See, while you guys weren't looking, I went ahead and marked center. So now we know where that goes. Okay. So I marked it and I glued the corners over. So now we got nice clean edges. I centered it. And now I'm just going to glue this bottom edge, and then we'll start working our way up towards the top. I'm not going to glue all the way. I'm not going to glue all this up here because I want to be able to stretch it and move it opposite of the padding. So I think that should be good. Come on, work with me. Now we got to let this set up for a little bit, and then we can proceed. From the outside. All right, that's glued. Now let's work on stuffing it. May have a little too much material to stuff in there, but all right, that's enough to lock it in and hold it. I think it's sticking to the tape. Okay, we'll start in the center. And we'll work our way out. All right, now we got to spray this. How do we do that? That sounds good. Okay. Oops, sorry up there. All right, we'll let that sit for a little bit. So do you guys know if where the back seat goes, is there a plastic panel that goes around that, a plug? Or do you just see the fabric cut on the edges? I don't know if there's a, you'd think there'd be like a round washer, plastic washer or rubber boot or something that goes over that. Same with the back seat, metal on metal. I don't know if there's a piece of rubber that goes on that. Let me know in the comments down below. Now what can we do here? Add a little diagonal stretch. All right, now we got to figure out how to get this out. Okay, so when I glue this down, I'll be able to stretch it. The hard part's going to be we're gluing to something that wants to move also, but we'll see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. It's a little bit, but not bad. I can live with that. It's not bad. I'm happy with it. I can say it's the best I could do. I think I could add a little bit of heat to it and it'll be fine. Or just let it sit in the sun for a while. All right, next up is the actual headliner itself. We got to get some bows for it, and then basically it just pushes up inside the panel. So we do have a problem up front that we need to take care of with probably some more padding. And then we're pretty much, hopefully we're ready to go. So I'll see you on that video. You too. I'll see you over there.